I have always said that stupid people are the most dangerous people on this entire planet. I don't trust dumb people. I avoid stupid people like a ticking time bomb with no timer because you're not sure when they're going to go off. You can guarantee they're going to go off, you just don't know when. Let me be very clear about this. Stupid has nothing to do with diplomas or degrees or jobs. I have met morons with Ivy League paper plastered all over their walls in frames who couldn't navigate a moral choice if you drew it for them on a map. Stupid people walk around through life oblivious to the damage they cause. They're the ones who vote against their own interests. They think they're always right, and that's the problem. That right there is the real poison. Because when you're stupid and you do things like vote against your own self interests, you become the puppet, pulled by fear, pulled by propaganda, by whatever authority pats you on the head and says, "You're doing a great job, vote for me." I would sooner sit next to a hateful, racist person than a stupid person. At least the racists know who they are. They're gonna spew venom for sure, but there's a twisted kind of honesty to them. You know where you stand with them. You know exactly where the landmines are. With stupid people who vote against their own interests, you never know. They'll smile at you, they'll call you their friend, and they'll gladly set the room on fire with you in it, thinking they're helping. Stupid people are chaos wrapped in flesh. They will never truly know the harm they cause until it's too late. And that right there is the real problem.
Trump supporter, I vote for Trump. They just got out of the car with the guns in the hands and say, turn off the car. And then he put the handcuffs on me and said, how did I get into this country? And he looked at his other partner like, smiling, like saying, can you believe this guy? At this point, I was with handcuffs sitting on the sidewalk. And then he took my ID and saw that it was a real ID. The other guy said, take the handcuffs off, take the handcuffs off. I was Trump supporter, I voted for Trump last elections, but because I thought it was going to be the things, like just go against criminals, not every illegal Hispanic looking like that they will assume we are illegals.
This guy seems like a nice guy, so I almost feel bad for you. I almost do, but I don't. Because with the privilege of the vote comes the responsibility to know what the fuck you're voting for. I mean, he telegraphed exactly what was going to happen. And they're not done. You got 4 more years in here. He's going to come after you, come after your family, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your parents. This is where you find out. This is where we all find out. How the fuck did you not know?
I just saw a video of a Trumper on here. You've probably seen it. And he's basically like, I voted for Trump. These tariffs are killing me as a small business owner. I need some help. Some Democrats in the comments are trolling him, of course. And someone commented like, I love this for you. And the Trumper replied via video. And he was like, oh, you love this for me, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck did you expect? We told you this and we got called elitist. We told you the impact tariffs have on the economy and you were like, you guys think you're so smart? This is basic knowledge. So the guy makes the video back and he's like, I knew Trump was gonna tariff. I thought it would push people to build in the USA. I'm gonna explain this to you like you're 5. Have you ever watched Shark Tank, okay? And a product's on there and the sharks go, why is it so expensive? And the person goes, it's made in the USA. Why do you think they say that? Why do you... Everything's more expensive in the United States. That's why we get things internationally. And as a small business owner, I'm surprised you don't know that. You didn't think this would start a trade war, huh? Like last time? And last time was significantly less than all the tariffs he's doing this time. Like, you don't get to play victim, okay? You were warned, you ignored it. Now you're paying the consequences for voting without knowing how things work.
Now do you understand that it was never about your legal status? It was just about the fact that you were not white. Trump told you that he was going to do this and you let him use you. Cubans for Trump, Latinos for Trump, dogs for slaughterhouses, and y'all voted for him. And it's just because you had too much disdain for a black woman. You could not stand to see a black woman make it into the position of power that y'all wanted, so you voted for the man who wanted to send you back to your war-torn countries. Because most of these visas, the over 500,000 visas that he's revoking are visas that Biden gave to people who were fleeing war-torn countries. Biden did so much for the country, provided so much solitude, gave the people a fighting chance, alley-ooped it up to Harris, and you guys said, no, she's black, fuck that shit. Now you have a month to self-deport, not a month to contest, not a month to get your legal status in order. He is giving 500,000 people a month to self-deport or face deportation through ICE. And you know what ICE is now? They take you to Guantanamo Bay. They're going to make you slave labor. And you know who doesn't have rights in America? Non-citizens. I remember vividly arguing with people, letting them know that it did not matter if you got here legally. It does not matter how you are as an immigrant. If you're a model immigrant, if you are not a white American, they were not going to protect you. And we told you all. What? I just saw a video of Cubans on the boat singing Cubans are going to vote for Trump. You see the first list of people on this? Cubans. And they were one of the loudest supporters of Trump. It makes no sense. He said he was going to do this. I need to know, why did y'all vote for him when y'all knew he was going to do this?
A Cuban mother has been deported from the United States despite being married to a U.S. citizen. And they also have a daughter, and she's only 1 year old. And she was also born in the United States. The woman's name is Haiti Sanchez Tejeda, and it's been confirmed that today in the morning, she arrived on a flight full of other people that were deported into Cuba. Haiti had arrived to the United States about, give or take, 5 years ago. And in those 5 years, she was living in the United States, very free and living life. She had a problem where she couldn't apply for asylum. A lot of people in the comments were saying, how was she here for 5 years? You got to keep in mind, Joe Biden had no problem with immigrants. But now that Donald Trump is in office and he doesn't want no immigrants in the United States, Haiti went to her first meeting for immigration. She went with confidence, but the Donald Trump administration said, hey, they detained her and deported her back to Cuba. And this morning, she was put on a flight and arrived in Cuba. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. And like always, don't forget to follow for more viral news. Ciao, pescado.
Woke up to outrage from people from all over Central America, all kinds of countries. Why? Because the Cubans just got singled out by the Trump administration. Why? Almost 50,000 of them claimed asylum, came here from Cuba because they said their lives were in danger in Cuba, so they claimed asylum. Cuba has special laws in place with America, so after you've been here for 1 year, you get a permanent resident card. You don't have to go through a bunch of hoops to get it. You get it really quick. Problem is, their data is completely tracked. And you know what they all did? They all went home. They all went back to, after they got their permanent resident card, they all flew back to Cuba to visit mom, dad, Theo, grandpa, everybody. And it's all been tracked. And that's why these 50,000 people almost from Cuba have just put the radar on the fact that people are coming here, claiming asylum, and then flying back to their country. And this is what angers so many people from other countries, because they know now that this data has been released, that all their trips have been tracked. And they've gone back to their countries. And the huge spotlight that has just been put on people with permanent resident cards that claimed asylum but went back to their homes. And they're saying, why couldn't you just do it right? Why couldn't you just not go? Some of us did it right. Some of us came here, enjoy the freedoms America gives us, and we've had grandparents pass, we've had parents, sisters, brothers in our country pass, and we don't go back because we won't risk what we have here in America. And the people in our country understand that. We were fortunate to get here, and we're gonna try our best to stay here, but they're afraid that that's putting a huge spotlight on the whole asylum thing. And will it happen to other countries? Will they get the spotlight put on them too? Because some of their people are doing the same thing the Cubans just got caught for.
Maria Salazar, a Republican congresswoman who openly supported Trump, is now asking him to not deport Haitians, Cubans, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, however, Trump signed an executive order which killed the process for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. This process allowed individuals from those respective 4 countries, Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, to come into the United States and work legally should they have a US-backed sponsor and pass a background check. Well, now Maria is trying to protect the Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians that she actively voted against by asking Trump to please not deport them. Guess she didn't think that the leopards would eat her face this quick.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. So today we're talking about Trump's new policy, right? So right now Trump is saying that he wants to get rid of everybody who is not a Native American. He's saying if you're from Venezuela, if you're Cuban, if you're Nicaraguan, Latinos, everybody, he's saying he wants to deport all of them. And, you know, they're all over the place across all platforms. They're crying, the ones that voted. And the funny thing is a lot of them voted for Trump. And that's why, you know, people are laughing at them. Everyone is saying, oh, they effed around and now they are finding out. So yeah, I think they felt like they weren't going to be victims of Trump's new policies, maybe because they felt like, I don't know, maybe they felt like they were Trump's favorites or something, I don't know, but the fact remains that they knew that Trump was like this because there were warnings everywhere. People told them, they were telling them, oh, don't vote for Trump. Trump is not a good guy. He has a lot of, things up his sleeves. He's up to no good. And they were there screaming, oh, Trump for president, Latinos for Trump, MAGA, and all those things they were shouting. And yeah, so they're finding out. And if you ask me, their tears, priceless. Let's watch more videos.
A police car behind me put the lights on, so I stepped on the side, right, to let him pass through. But it didn't happen, so he just parked in front of my car, the other one parked behind me, and they just got out of the car with the guns in the hands and say, turn off the car, give me the keys, open the window. And at this point, they didn't ask me for any ID. I was telling the officer if I can give him the ID, but he said that just keep my hands up, not moving. After that, he told me to get out of the car, and then he put the handcuffs on me. And then he went to me and said, how did I get into this country? And if I was waiting for court or if I have any case. And he looked at his other partner like, smiling, like saying, can you believe this guy? At this point, I was with handcuffs sitting on the sidewalk. And then he took my ID and saw that it was a real ID. The other guy said, take the handcuffs off, take the handcuffs off. I was Trump supporter, I voted for Trump last elections, but because I thought it was gonna be the things, like be pointless, like just go against criminals, not every illegal Hispanic looking like that they will assume we are illegals. That's what they're doing now. They're just following Hispanic people looking like, because they didn't ask me for anything.
So for tribal members, I'm going to say it is in your best interest to carry around any type of tribal identification. If it's a certificate of Indian blood, a tribal ID, maybe even your social security and your birth certificate. This post has been shared by our Navajo Nation president on Instagram. So if an agent comes up to you and starts asking you questions, these are appropriate steps to do to protect yourself. Ask for identification of the agent. Don't resist. If you are detained and arrested, you exercise your right. And then ask for your local American Civil Liberties Union. So what's basically happening is that a lot of our city natives are being racially profiled. And so to have some type of protection, this is the step that we're going to have to take too.
Today's my last day right here in the United States after 20 years.
The truth is, we basically just re-elected Hitler, and I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. My husband isn't safe, and I don't like it.
It's time to go.
So you met him in February, and in March you needed money?
Yes.
Okay. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
We all know and understand that the Latino community voted against their own self-interest. And a lot of us, myself included, have been openly celebrating the fuck around and find out we're seeing with them in real time. And we all have preconceived notions of what that mass deportation would look like. But none of us really ever knew what it was and how heartless the U.S., especially the politicians, were until now. Check this out.
Are you a little nervous this morning?
Wouldn't you be?
See? Do you understand what these proceedings here in court are all about?
How could he?
You know what a lawyer is?
This is America.
Tough immigration law just isn't working out. Most immigration workers left
So this farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field. And farmers say many Americans are not physically fit and simply don't work fast enough.
Many of our local farmers are dependent on immigrant labor to pick their crops every day. And that's the produce you and I are buying in the grocery store. But many of the men I spoke with agree that immigrants need to be legalized in some form or fashion. Several of the farmers I spoke with today off camera say the inconsistency of the immigration law is already hitting their business. They told me workers are simply moving to states who do not have immigration laws, and they say that could jeopardize farm.
Hi guys, so right now I just want to know how you guys feel about the whole situation, because I mean we just saw a clip of a child having to represent himself in court about the migration matter and the deportation matter, and that really made me feel sad. That really touched my heart in a way. And while all of this is happening, we could laugh at the people who actually voted for Trump, but we forget that there are actually a lot of other people who didn't vote for Trump but are now having to face this this situation. And yeah, it's just really sad. Do you guys feel for them? Do you guys wish there was something that could be done about this? Maybe another protest, maybe something, because it really isn't fair to some people, a lot of people actually. So just let me know what you think. Put your comments down in the comment section, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.
Where are my Miami Cubans at? Stand up for what you supported in 2024. Stand up for what you supported. Oh, you thought he wasn't talking about you, right? He wasn't talking about you. He was talking about the illegals. Even though we tried to tell you, if your skin color was brown and you talk Spanish, he wants you out of the country. You thought, oh, he's not talking about me. We tried to warn you. The mass deportations in U.S. history affect communities of color indiscriminately. How do they know if you're undocumented or not? They're going to harass you. So even revoking legal status for 500,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, how are they going to find out which ones just lost their legal status? Where are they going to find them? They're going to be searching these neighborhoods, as they have been already. When I moved from Michigan to Florida, I was young, naive. I didn't know what had happened in 2000, but I was shocked when I learned that Cubans in Miami were Republicans, because coming from Michigan, I knew who the Republicans were, and they couldn't stand the Cubans. And it's like, you're voting for people who can't stand you. They tolerate you because you stay in Miami and you're not venturing out to Iowa. You're not venturing out into the Midwest to realize that the people you're supporting want you out of their country. FAFO. But stand up and own what you supported. Round of applause. Greatness is here. Enjoy it.